What's up, everybody? Welcome into this edition of Just Talking Ball. It is week 3 of the NFL. We're live on TikTok. This is actually being recorded on Monday, so I am flying solo here at lunchtime. The reason being, Big Web and myself will be live from Las Vegas, Nevada, coming up this Sunday for the program, so I'm excited about that. I don't know exactly where we're going to be. We talked about possibly outside of the hotel we're staying at on Fremont. I don't know if we'll find somewhere on the Strip. Maybe we'll get kicked out of wherever we try to record, and we'll have to do it from our hotel room. But regardless, we will be live once again. Check. Can you guys hear me? I feel like this is really low. I think we're good. All right. I think, we'll be in Vegas. We'll do some kind of live show, but I figured I would do a quick show here for week 3 just to keep things rocking and rolling. So we are live here during lunchtime on Monday on TikTok. If you guys want to get involved, you can do so by commenting here on the TikTok chat. You're also welcome to leave a voicemail on fromthe50.com. It's from the 50.com, from the50show@gmail.com. If you'd like to send an email instead, we like the interaction on the program. We like people being able to jump on and give their hot takes on their teams, miss parlays, all that fun stuff. There's a lot to discuss, so we appreciate people getting involved with the program, especially here on TikTok and YouTube every single week. If you're brand new to the program, every Sunday during the NFL season, we are live from this studio mainly. This coming Sunday will be in Las Vegas, me and Big Web. But usually right here we have a full panel of I guess, football geniuses is how I would put it. We don't know shit. But it's a lot of fun. We're just football fans shooting the breeze. This show in particular, this Wednesday program that is going to be live recorded to go recorded on Wednesday is usually just very laid back, talking whatever in the football world. So send in your fantasy questions, give me your predictions for week 3, let me know your reactions of week 2, and we'll have some fun here on From the 50.com. You know what's not fun is when you get destroyed by the Denver Broncos on your parlay. We had the Hail Mary parlay, folks. I don't know if you've been out there, you've been listening to the show for a long time. Maybe we've only been doing it 2-3 years. Regardless, the Hail Mary parlay is now something we've started to do where we pick money line on every single game. Just pick the winner of the game, and we try to hit a parlay. You put $1 on it, no more, no less. That's the rule. That's what I do every single week. I loved it so much so that I said I'm going to cover myself on Monday night. I like all these picks or Sunday night. You have 2 teams, the Falcons and the Vikings. I got outvoted. It's a democracy, and I got outvoted by the rest of the guys to go with Atlanta. So I decided to bet it twice, $2 total, big spender over here, and I bet them both. So the only thing I needed, we go through all the way through noon. We got through Jake Browning taking over for the Bengals. We got through the Cowboys and their debacle. Probably should have lost that game. They get the win. A lot of back and forth, a lot of no sweats. Lions, thank God, destroying the Bears. That was a beautiful thing. And some that we were sweating. But we get to 3 o'clock. I need 3 teams just to win. Eagles, got it done. Cardinals, got it done. What was the last team? Anybody want to guess? The Denver Broncos won the game, even according to the announcer. I don't know who was on that call. I recognize the name or recognize the voice. Couldn't think of the name. Still can't. But he said the Broncos are going to win, and then I saw that yellow bullshit highlight pop up on the score bug, and I said, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me. And I knew right away that I was screwed, because what are they going to do? Give a 5, 10, 15-yard penalty, re-kick, and you know he's going to send it right through the upright. Sure enough, they call leverage, which I've never even heard of that call. I don't know the rules. I'm sure the rules were broken there. I saw him put his hands on the center, the D tackle, when he was going to go try to jump up in the air to block it. He was nowhere close anyway. But he didn't really use leverage. He had his hands on his back, and then he jumped, but he didn't use them. Anyway, I don't understand the rules, but all I know is I got screwed out of, it would have been $480 if the Vikings would have won. Since the Falcons won, it would have been $680 on a dollar bet. And that would have been the first Hail Mary parlay that this show has ever picked in the history. And we've been on history of the show. We've been on since 2018. So there was a lot on the line there. And it didn't work out. So I was frustrated. It sucked. I did live bet the Colts when they were driving, put $60 on them and even money just to give me an extra bump in case I do get my heart broken, which I'm glad I did that. But still, what could have been, man? What could have been? Did anybody else get destroyed on the Broncos, because I made a little video on Monday morning that I put out there breaking down what exactly happened, and I had a lot of comments, especially on Instagram and TikTok, telling me that, yeah, we're the same. I mean, literally everybody lost on the Denver Broncos. Square pick? Maybe. I don't know what the square pick was in that game. I'm guessing Denver money line. I don't care analytics. I don't care what the best bet was. I don't care about any of that shit. They miss a chip shot field goal. Will Lutz, former Saint, followed Sean Payton. Sean Payton brings him back, misses a key field goal that would have put them up by 5, and then you get an opportunity to shut them down because they need a touchdown. You think Danny Dimes, he doesn't have a clutch gene. Nothing about him is clutch. So what he's got to do is go down and get 6 after giving up that 3. There is no way it was going to happen. Will Lutz misses the field goal. Now they're only up by 2. Indy only needs a field goal. Then they go down, kick all that bullshit that I just explained. Absolute heartbreaking fashion. Again, I would be a lot sadder if I put any more money on it. I put $1 on each to pay $6.80 or to pay $4.80. Again, I had Sunday night both ways. Can you imagine being a $100 better? I mean, first of all, if you're a $100 better, unless you're a 100 millionaire, you shouldn't be putting $100 on a 13-leg parlay. Let's start there. But I would be heartbroken knowing I missed out on $68,000. I missed out on $6.80. I lost $1. So it was more like it was there, but I'm going to get over it because it was $1 at the end of the day. And we made some money on kind of hedging with the Colts there anyway. So it worked out, but what could have been. Let's see. We got some people with some fantasy questions. Again, guys, this is our Wednesday show, recording on a Monday, so I'm live on TikTok, YouTube. You're going to watch the recording. People might be asking, well, where's Big Web's parlay? Don't worry. He's sending it in. I'm going to edit it and then upload it. I can't think today. A little busy. Upload it to TikTok and Instagram and YouTube so you can see his picks. I think we're 0 for 2, but he's been close. We say it every year. He's been close. I think the Rams-Titans under got him this week. Hate to see it. We'll talk more about that on Sunday, but you will see his parlay, just not part of this program this week. Jamar for Luka and Zay. What do you think about that? Jamar Chase for Luka and Zay? Puka and Zay. I'm like, who is Luka? I'm trying to think. Puka and Zay. Man. So here's the thing. The question is Jamar's, I guess, ceiling going to, like, is it going to lower because Joe Burrow's out for 3 months? I mean, Jake Browning came in and threw the ball pretty good, led them to a comeback victory. Jamar had a massive day. I think his status will be the same, if not even a little bit better, if that sounds crazy. I made a kind of a statement on Sunday. I said, to the guys we were watching with, I said, I don't know if this is the truth, but I feel like if you're a backup quarterback stepping in and the first thing you want to do is find your safety net and you go to your number one receiver. Jamar Chase, I think, is going to get a shit ton of targets. He was already, but now with Jake Browning, I think he'll get the same workload, if not more. So I don't know if I'd trade Jamar, but you're getting Puka and Zay, both having decent years. Man, I would probably have to see your other receivers. Who else do you have at receiver besides Jamar? But if I'm making the quick instinct decision, I would keep Jamar. That's just me. He's so dominant, and you know how good he can carry a team, man. Chuba and Mahomes for Ladd and Golden. Herbert is my starter. That's from Brody. Chuba and Mahomes. I haven't seen Chuba have one carry this year. I've watched a little bit of the Panthers. I couldn't tell you what he's done this year. And Mahomes for Ladd and Golden. I mean, right away looking at it, I would definitely take that trade. I mean, Mahomes is, he's one of the best of all time. He's a gamer, man. He wins. I mean, he's won 3 Super Bowls. He's awesome. But as far as fantasy goes, lately, I mean, the last couple of years, he has not been the same impact player that he was early on in his career. So I think I would actually take that. I'm pretty big on Ladd McConkey. I'm curious to see what the Chargers do with him for the rest of the season. Again, this is tough because I wanted to react to his performance in Week 2. I'm recording this before Monday Night Football against the Raiders, so that obviously has already happened if you're watching this or listening to this on Wednesday. Regardless, I think Ladd and Golden are good options. As long as you said you have Herbert as your starter, I'd go for it, man. I would. I don't think you're going to miss much. I think you got some good upside there. Gibbs for T-Mac and Kamara. That's from Noop. I'm guessing that's McMillan from the Panthers, and Alvin for Gibbs. You're asking the wrong guy. Again, I'm trying not to be biased. I'm a Lions guy, and I have Gibbs on my fantasy team too. He's a fantasy beast. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you can take that risk, really. I haven't been impressed by Alvin yet. I think T-Mac had a pretty good week, but nothing crazy yet. I'd stay with Gibbs, man. I don't think that's enough. That's just me, but I'd stay with Gibbs there. Falcons look good. That's from Will. Yeah, they did. And I tell you what, I mean, Penix hasn't done anything super outrageous yet. I mean, I think they were talking about how much they wanted to run the ball better in week 2 than week 1. And obviously Bijan had, I think, 120 plus rushing. I mean, they looked really good. What a terrible game that was Sunday night. I mean, the Vikings look god awful. But yeah, the question was about the Falcons. I think they're going to contend in the South. I just think as long as the Bucs can get healthy quick, I think it's still their division to lose. I see the Falcons hanging around maybe 9-8. I think 9-8 is a pretty good prediction, and then a possible wild card spot. That's kind of where I'm at on them. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I was so disappointed by that Sunday night game. I was so locked in. I'm like, after the fourth quarter that J.J. McCarthy had against the Bears, came all the way back. He's going to be looking great, and he looked awful. I mean, awful. Let's see. CeeDee Lamb and Diggs are my receivers. So this is the guy who's trading Jamar for Puka and Zay. Dude, I would keep Jamar and CD. I mean, I don't know. How many players do you have in that league? Holy crap. Is that like a 8-man league or something? That's CD and Jamar. I would stay with those guys, man. Diggs is not a bad flex. I don't know what running backs you have, but I would keep Jamar. That's just me. 12-man league. This is what I'm talking about. I've been in a 12-man league. We've had 12 for at least 6 years or so. I've never been even close to having Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb. I don't know who's in your league, but yeah, you should win. That's craziness. That's crazy. Let's see. I mean, I would say too, I'm not, saying your league sucks or anything. I'm just saying our league's very competitive. And there would be someone called out if they were able to do that. Like, that's how bad. Like, people passing on those two guys first round to let one of those guys come back on the wraparound, unless it's a dynasty league. If I'm missing something, a redraft league, that's crazy. Let's see. Packers defense is looking good so far. It's from Daniel. Yep, I talked to Zook about it on Sunday. He's our Packers guy on the show. I'm worried about the Packers as a Lions guy. I mean, they beat the shit out of us week 1. I think the Lions played terrible as well, but I was talking to Big Web about this yesterday. I said I think the Packers are the real deal. I would love to see the Packers and Lions within one game of the division going into the Thanksgiving Day game. Zook mentioned it Sunday. He said that they're going to Detroit. I think that'd be an awesome game. I think those two can go back and forth, but I'm telling you, if Jordan Love can play at the level he has, like, he's not going crazy, doing anything wild. They're just playing simple football, but he's executing. That defense can carry them. They are extremely talented. And the Bears are 0-2. That's all that matters. That's all that really matters in this. I would love the Packers to be 0-2, but obviously the Bears being 0-2 after Ben Johnson goes there is a beautiful thing. Is just absolutely amazing. I might fade the Vikings for the rest of the season after that game. That's from Philip. And I would not blame you, dude. That was one of the worst performances. I mean, the thing was, I almost turned it off again. I did that last Monday, though. That game was brutal for a while. I said, okay, the Bears have this done. I turned it off mid-third quarter, and I was, getting ready for the next day or whatever I was doing. And I looked back at my phone, and then it's Vikings up, with 3 minutes left. And I was like, holy shit, I got to turn this on. I didn't do that to myself this time. I go, I'm going to stay here because I know that the Vikings are going to turn it around. And I was waiting. Guess what? It never happened. So that's how bad that game was. There was just really zero excitement going on, no doubt. You guys get involved here on TikTok live for week 3 preview on Just Talkin' Ball. If you're listening on Wednesday or you're watching on Wednesday on YouTube, appreciate you guys. You can always get involved by going to FromThe50.com. It's very simple. Leave a voicemail by clicking the voicemail button. You can always text in live here on the Wednesday shows, usually live on YouTube on Wednesdays. But again, I'm going to Las Vegas, Nevada, coming up this week with Big Web, so that'll be fun. We'll be live from Vegas coming up on Sunday, 9:30 a.m. up to 11 a.m. CT. Got to get up at 7, maybe earlier, Vegas time. Oh, baby. That's going to be a fun one. Probably hungover as shit. We'll see how that goes. But from the50.com, you can check out all of our links to all of our channels. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, I don't know how long the show's going to go. I was kind of recapping last week. We're talking some questions. I'll kind of do a few thoughts going into Week 3 because I know this is going to be called Week 3 Preview, so I might as well bring up some Week 3 things. Let's answer a few more questions, though, in the chat. I'm happy my Eagles won again. It's from Jeremy. I called that one. I mean, the Chiefs made it close at the end. I think they are taking a step back, and I think the Eagles probably the best team in the NFL. I mean, I don't know how you can really disagree with that. And again, I didn't see. I've seen some arguments about the tush push, and then some of the guys jumping off sides on the offensive, or I guess jumping early on the offensive line. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. All I'm saying is there was an opportunity to vote the tush push out, and I don't think it was even close to being voted out. So, the owners spoke, or whoever voted on it, I think it was the owners, and they kept it. So what are you going to do? I mean, Philly is they're so good that we mentioned it Sunday. They have so many weapons that you don't know who to play in fantasy besides Jalen Hurts and Saquon. If you have A.J. Brown, especially, I feel bad for you because the dude is amazing, but they don't need him. And why would you use him until you need him? Like, use your run game. You got arguably the best running back in the NFL if he's healthy. You got arguably, if not the best talent-wise, one of the best and one of the most incredible athletes at quarterback. You don't even need your receivers until you do. If they stop the run, okay, here's here's a little pitch over to A.J. Brown. Here's Dallas Goedert. Here's the guy from Alabama. I can't remember his name. Devontae Smith. There's so many things they can do. That's why Philly is so dangerous this season and beyond. They're very, very good. All right, Week 3. This is the time that we should be slowly but surely getting to understand these teams a little bit more. I like to think that's the case, but I'm not going to get cocky because, again, I got close to hitting that 13-leg parlay. It's just we literally just pick the games and say who's going to win. There are a lot of favorites. That doesn't always happen. That will not happen a lot this season. It's just we got lucky that week. I understand that I can be a square better at times. I think a lot of us understand that we bet with the public because we look at the teams and say, there's no way that the Texans beat the Bucs or whatever we say. And then, of course, the Texans lose and play the worst game of the season. It's the same thing I had with Detroit going into Week 1. Packers are legit. Lions got their asses kicked. It's just you don't know week by week what's going to happen, and that's what's so fun about this league, but also really tough as a sports bettor to kind of break down. John says, part of the NFL is fantasy. That's why they should be utilizing A.J. Brown. Part of the NFL is fantasy. That's why they should be utilizing A.J. Brown, from John. I don't know if I follow the statement. I mean, all the teams care about, and they always mention, I don't give a shit about your fantasy teams. I've heard players say that in press conferences. I agree with them. They have a job, and their job is to go win football games. It's not to get 100-yard receiving games and big-time 3-touchdown games. But, I don't know. It's interesting. Chase says Monday Night Football picks. So this is kind of a weird spot. I'm putting the show out on the podcast feed and YouTube on Wednesday, so it's already going to be done. So I'm not even going to give my picks. I really haven't looked at it much anyway. I'm gonna let that one go just because it's going to be nobody's going to care listening to this Wednesday or Sunday. But Chase, thanks for following, man. Appreciate it. Make sure you follow us all season. Riley says, are my Bengals cooked? Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, you lose Joe Burrow. What are you going to do? That's huge. I wouldn't say they're done because Browning can sling it a little bit. I mean, you take a step back, there's no doubt about that. But with all the weapons you have, I don't know if they're going to go out and get somebody. I don't know if Browning's just going to stay there. and they're 2-0. It's such a weird spot. You're 2-0, and your franchise guy who threw 40-plus touchdowns last season out 3 months. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I would not say cooked. I think they'll lose a couple more games than they weren't expected to, but I think Burrow will come back hopefully around the time they can make a playoff push. It's weird. I don't really have a good answer for you. It's a weird spot to be in, especially at 2-0. I mean, wouldn't this be wild? I don't know. I never go into all the contract situations and this and that, and if somehow the Bengals, they wouldn't do it, though. Here's how my brain's working. You got Kirk Cousins sitting there backing up Penix in Atlanta, making a shit ton of money. They're not going to pay Kirk Cousins to become a backup for just a few weeks when Burrow's coming back, or I say a few weeks, a few months when Burrow's coming back eventually. You're paying him a shit ton of money. And the Falcons, I'm guessing, business-wise, would want to get that contract off their books. Cincinnati would make sense with Kirk, but they're not going to pay him, so that's not going to work. But take out makes no sense. But take out contracts for a second. Kirk would be an interesting pickup for Cincinnati, but it's not going to happen because of what I just mentioned. I think they stay with Browning if I really have to guess, and I think that they'll be fine. But yeah, you know what? They're cooked. I've changed my mind, Riley. They're cooked. That's it. I can't make up my mind, and that means that they're cooked. I can't find a good reason for them to still be competitive without Burrow and that really bad defense. So, yeah, you're cooked. I apologize. It's done. Season's done. All right, week 3. Quickly, let's go through some of these. Big game. Lions are taking on the Ravens coming up Monday Night Football in Baltimore. Got our ass kicked 2 years ago in Baltimore. I think it was like the Ravens started out 28-0. It was brutal. They're 6-point favorites, so the Lions plus 210. If you think we can carry on what we did against Chicago last week, that could be a nice little sweetener to a parlay or just a straight bet, plus 210 with the Lions. But the Ravens are the real deal. Over-under's 51.5. That's kind of what I was thinking, is looking at the over in that game. If you take it down to like 48, 49, I think that would work pretty good. Billy Hoare says, what are we doing? I miss you guys. Where is Dad? Appreciate that, Mr. Hoare. What's going on, man? So I mentioned to the audience, I'm jumping on Monday during lunch for about 20, 30 minutes, and we're just doing Talkin' Ball now because I'm going to Vegas Thursday morning. I got to get up at 4 in the morning, I think, so can't really record or go live Wednesday night, so we're doing it now, and then I'm going to post this on YouTube and the podcast feed on Wednesday. So that's what we're doing. And then me and Big Web live from Vegas on Sunday morning, same time, same place. All right, what other games were intriguing? I mean, this is also going to be square, but I mean, the Chiefs and Giants, Sunday Night Football in New York. Giants are getting 5.5. The public's going to be all over Kansas City, and because they're 0-2, and you can't imagine that they would lose to the Giants to go 0-2. But this is a weird spot because, I mean, clock is ticking for Dayball. I would think that they're going to give him a little bit more time this season, but you should have beat the Cowboys. Now you go down and you have to take on the Chiefs at home. Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes I don't think he's ever started 0-2 in his career, something like that. He's never lost 3 games in a row, which dating back to the Super Bowl, he has. How do you not pick the Chiefs? But, I mean, that's got to be, the public's got to be all over that. Those scare me because that tells me right there, like, maybe you take the Giants up to like 7.5. I think that's probably a good play because, like, I mean, everybody is going to be on Kansas City. Money line for sure, but, like, even to cover, I think the Giants plus points there could be a nice play just because, I mean, the Giants, they're desperate to get a win. The coaching staff is desperate to get a win. They need to win games, and it's tough that they're running into the Chiefs that have lost 2 in a row for the first time in a long-ass time. So, or 3 in a row dating back to last year. Let's see, what else? Dallas and the Bears is intriguing. The Bears are... it makes me smile. They suck. They really do. You can see all the talent, but they just don't have the process part of it. And I think that proves that, and I'll put another comparison out there for you. It's kind of like the Dolphins. Look how many athletes the Dolphins have. Waddle, Tyreek, Achane, Tua when he's fully healthy, and he's been through some shit, man. He can sling it, and yet they just are all over the place now. The Bears, again, it's early. It's 2 weeks in. It's now week 3. But my God, it's just like, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, Caleb looks really good in one drive. Like, he's going to lead this team to a Super Bowl one day. Or just like, set that aside for a second. How about just a playoff appearance or anything competitive, a winning record? And then some throws, he's just all over the place. Kurt Warner, by the way, had a fantastic clip on Twitter of him breaking down a play that Caleb threw that bad interception. He said, I'm not blaming people saying that was a bad interception by Caleb, but if you see the routes that the receivers run, it was like 5 or 10, 15, 20 yards down the field, and they're all crossing in the middle at the same time. He goes, as a quarterback, you're dropping back. How do you read that defense to find anybody to throw to? So he was blaming, maybe the coaching a little bit, maybe some of the processes. And that's the thing about the Bears is they have so much talent. I just don't think they're not in a rhythm. And it's early. I've said that. It's early, but Caleb has to understand to play almost like a little bit more simple. Now, he needs, again, he's probably a little worried about his offensive line from last season. They got better this year, but he's got probably that thought in his mind, like, I got to get out and escape as much as I can. And then he's got all these weapons, but he's got a new play caller. Ben Johnson wants him ready now, and he's learning all this new shit. It's a lot of pressure on him, but this is the NFL. I mean, you got to perform quick. And he's making mistakes, and their defense gave up a 50-burger to the Lions. Love to see it. But at home against the Cowboys, again, I'm not going to call it a must-win for them, but, I mean, if you can't get that one done, Dallas has struggled a lot. They should be 0-2. I also think that over could be massive. 49.5 on Green Book. I like that over a lot. I don't know if I take the Bears, but that's the spot I think that they're desperate as well. But over on that one, Cowboys, Bears over 49.5 could be fun. Let's see. Chase Brown for Chuba. My other running back is Kamara. What are your thoughts on Chase Brown? Chase Brown for Chuba, my other running back. What are your thoughts on Chase Brown? I like Chase Brown. I have him in Dynasty. He's been kind of quiet, but he'll come around. I'm not worried about him. Will the St. Louis Cardinals ever be irrelevant again with this ownership? That's a good question. So I'm a Cardinal fan from St. Louis. I know it's a football show. Quickly, I'll bring it up. It's been brutal here. I mean, we've had this thing where we try to sneak into the playoffs, and ownership says that's a win if we got into the playoffs. That allows 1 million teams into the playoffs. It's a really fun system. We got a lot of pitchers in the minors we haven't seen much out of yet, but even the young guys we have, like Walker and Gorman, and guys that were supposed to pan out just aren't panning out. It sucks. I mean, Weatherholt's probably going to come up next year. He better start opening day. I could see him at second. Mason Wynn's your shortstop. Past that, man, anything could happen and anything should happen. I hope Chaim Bloom comes in and just completely resets this thing. I don't care who gets traded. I would be sad if Mason Wynn goes, and they'd be absolutely idiotic to get rid of Weatherholt. Anybody else, and I'm serious, anybody else is up for grabs. But all the money we're giving to veterans right now that have just regressed so much, Arenado and Contreras and Sonny Gray, and just a lot of tough contracts, no trade clauses that are hurting them. They're in a spot. It's going to be a few years, but no, I think they'll be irrelevant. And you can't be. We've been spoiled as Cardinal fans. That I was born in '94, and I saw some great teams growing up, and I was lucky enough to see two mega stars to lead not just the Cardinals but Major League Baseball at times, McGuire and Pujols. And now we're just on a downslide. It was going to happen at some point. It happened when in my late 20s, and here we are. But I've had a good run so far as a Cardinal fan. So I think they'll turn it around at some point. Let's see what else we have. How should Dallas be 0-2? LOL. It's from Jimothy. I mean, did you watch the game? The Giants kept coming, and it was a good game. What I'm saying is, neither team deserved to really, if this makes sense, neither team deserved to win because there were 6 lead changes between the fourth quarter and overtime. I think games are won on a defensive stop. When you have offenses that are absolute juggernauts like that, I say that for that game. Giants are not a juggernaut offense, neither are the Cowboys. But in that game, you have to make a stop, and neither team could do it. And it took Russ to throw an absolute lollipop that got intercepted late in overtime so that the Cowboys could get a fourth possession to go down and win. So you're telling me one of those two teams, either team deserved it more than the other? No shot. What I'm saying is it could have gone either way. And I really thought that the Giants had the better opportunity. But listen, they won the game. What are you going to do? It's just, that's a take by me. I'm just saying, it wasn't like you see that win and go, 2-0, yeah, or whatever, 1-1. Oh, yeah, Dallas deserved that win. They got it done, but I don't know if they deserved it. I'll say that. That might be hot takey, whatever. Sue me. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, guys. This has been awesome. Again, usually when I go solo, I rely on the chat to give me some good feedback, good content, but quickly, that's kind of what I was looking at as far as week 3 goes. Again, Lions, Ravens over. This might be the week of overs. Cowboys, Bears over. A couple other ones that just kind of piqued my interest. Bengals, Vikings under could be interesting, but now I'm thinking just take Bengals plus the points. The Vikings are -4.5, -205 at home. And I get they probably can't play as bad as they did last week, but what if they just aren't good? What if the fourth quarter of week 1 was just like out of nowhere they had a good ending to the game? The Bengals have enough playmakers, they could keep that close. I like Bengals plus the points. Maybe they were even with Jake Browning. I don't know. Something about him tells me that he's not Joe Burrow, but he'll do enough to cover a little bit. Let's see. Falcons -3.5 at the Panthers, I think could be really good. That's probably a square pick too, but the Panthers are so bad. They came back, but the Cardinals aren't great either. And then other than that, nothing really stands out to me. Raiders, depending on, okay, again, I'm recording this. The game already happened if you're watching this on Wednesday. But if the Raiders play good against the Chargers, I think that taking them up to 7.5 against the Commanders could be good. Commanders are -6 on Green Book currently. This could change again by the time you listen to this. But that's kind of where my head's at on this. So yeah, a lot of fun. We'll be live from Vegas Sunday. Me and Big Web on FromThe50.com. Again, on YouTube and on TikTok. So if you want to watch, you can watch right here. If you're on TikTok or on YouTube, FromThe50.com to find all of our links to our channels every single week of the NFL season. Wednesday for Just Talking Ball, and Sunday mornings, 9:30 a.m. to 11 on our YouTube and TikTok channels for the Sunday football show. And that'll do it. All right, guys, thanks so much. Appreciate you tuning in. We will talk on Sunday for Week 3 of the NFL in Las Vegas, Nevada. Talk to you guys soon.